Okay, so we've had a look at tenths and now we're going to have a look at hundredths. So if we have zero whole numbers, so 0, point, and let's just say for now we've got 0 tenths and 1/100th. Now again, if I asked you what a tenth looked like as a fraction, you would say it had a 10 on the bottom. So in the same way, if we're looking at 1/100th as a fraction, then we're looking at 1 out of 100 because we are saying that is 1/100th. We've only got one piece out of 100. Okay, so let's change our 0 in our tenths column and let's make it a 3. So now we have 0.31 and 0.31, 31 pence, for example. So we would be saying that we've got 3 tenths, which we know would look like that, and we've got 1/100th, which we've got over here. Now, we don't want to say that 0.31, 0.31 would be 3 tenths and 1/100th. We want to put those together. Now, to put them together, we can think of our 3 being a 30. And if we make that a 30, then we've now got 30 out of 100. So now if we add those together, we've got 30 plus 1 is 31/100. So we've got 31 out of 100. So what you need to remember is if we've got 2 numbers after the decimal, we've got 2 decimal places, then we want to put out of 100. So we have 31/100ths. So let's have another go at one of those. And you can have a go as well. You can write this down. So let's do 0.52, 0.52. So again, we've got 2 digits after the decimal, which means we are looking at the hundredths column. So that is going to be 5 tenths and 2 hundredths is 52 hundredths. So you're almost saying you're looking at the word that comes after the last digit. So 52 hundredths. So we're looking at the hundredths column. So we've got 52 out of 100. So we've got 52 parts out of 100. So we're saying how many more do we need to get to a whole 1? So remember that this is less than a whole 1. Okay, 100 out of 100 would be a whole 1. The same as 10 out of 10 would be the whole 1. Okay, so let's have a look at how this can also work if we've got a number with a 0 on the end, so a multiple of 10. Okay, so let's try with 0.40, for example. Now, if you're following the pattern, then this would be 40 hundredths. But in the same way, this will also be 4 tenths. Because we've got a 0 on the end, we can divide it by 10, divide our 2 numbers here, top and bottom, numerator and denominator, by 10, and just look at it as 4 tenths. So that's how we can have equivalent fractions, very simply changing our multiple of 10 out of 100 to 4 out of 10. Sorry, I should have put that 0 there. Sorry. So we've got 40 out of 100 or 4 out of 10. And they mean the same thing. Okay. So you have a go at another one just to check that you're okay. So again, if it's got 2 numbers on the end if it's got 2 numbers after the decimal, we're looking at it being 100th, so out of 100. But again, if it's got a 0, if it's a multiple of 10, if it's got a 0 on the end, then you could make it a tenth as well. So let's try 70. So that would be 70 out of 100, which is also the same as 7 out of 10, 7 tenths. So 70 hundredths or 7 tenths.